here we go. We are on our math lesson. It is chapter 8, lesson 5, and today's focus is going to be time to the hour analog. So analog is a fancy word for this kind of clock. So we watched the little video. I showed you that, so make sure you do that one as well. This little clock, he says, time flies when you're having fun. And what it's showing you is that we have a whole clock, an analog clock, and on the clock we have the numbers that go in order up to 12. 12 is always at the top. We notice that all these little notches represent 1 minute. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and it keeps going all the way to 60. And then on your clock, you have two very important things. They're called hands. So we have a short hand and a long hand. The short hand tells the hour. Go ahead and trace the hour hand. And the long hand tells the minute. Okay, so when the minute hand is pointing straight up at the 12 and the hour hand is pointing to a number, that's what time it is. So this clock is showing 5 o'clock. Okay, and this will get easier and easier the more we practice. If you look on the back side, the see and show again is just a quick little review. There are two kinds of clocks. This is an analog clock. The hour hand is shorter. It points to the hour. See the hour hand? The minute hand is longer. It points to the minutes. So this clock shows 3 o'clock. And we can go ahead and trace that 3. All right. Use the clock to show the time. Tell what time is shown. Write the time. All right. Number 1. So we have the minute hand pointing to the 12 and the hour hand pointing to the 9. So what time is it? That's right. 9 o'clock. Number 2. Minute hand's up at the 12 and the hour hand's at the 2. What time is it? Good job. 2 o'clock. Pretty easy, right? Number 3. Minute hand's up to the 12. Hour hand is at the 11. What time is it? Good job. 11 o'clock. Next one. Minute hand's at the 12. Hour hand's straight down at the 6. 6 o'clock. Good job. Where are the hour hand and the minute hand when it is 4 o'clock? Right, the minute hand will be pointing up to the 12, straight up, right? And then the hour hand will be pointing to the 4. Good job. Again, the more we practice, the easier this will get. On my own, use the clock to show the time. Tell what time is shown. Write the time. What time is it? Good job. 1 o'clock. What time is it? That's right. 8 o'clock. Good job. Go ahead and finish these on your own. Pause the video and then come back and check your work. And I'm going to write the numbers in while you're pausing your video. All right, did you check your work? How'd you do? If you got them all right, give yourself a silent cheer. If you get anything wrong, just erase and fix it. Okay, on the back side. Solve, write the time, draw the hands on the clock, use the clock to help you. So thankfully they did all the numbers for us because that can get kind of tricky to keep them all straight. Ava gets home at 3 o'clock. So I'm going to imagine the hour hand's pointing to the 3, the minute hand's up there. Evan gets home 1 hour later. What time does Evan get home? Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my big clock. Okay. Sorry about that. This is a giant clock. So it says Ava gets home at 3 o'clock, right? Big hands to the 12, hour hands to the 3. Then Evan gets home 1 hour later. So in 1 hour, this has to go all the way around. This goes one more hour to the 4. So he gets home at 4 o'clock. And let's draw 4 o'clock on our clock. The minute hand, the long hand, goes all the way up to the 12. And the short hand, the hour hand, goes to the 4. Good job. Okay, number 14. Roger begins reading books at 7 o'clock. He reads for 1 hour. What time does he stop? Let's look at our clock again. So if he's starting at 7 o'clock and he reads for 1 hour, that means the minute hand is going to go all the way around, back up to the 12. And where does the hour hand go? To the 8. It just moves one space. 1 hour is one space. So he is done at 8 o'clock. Now let's make our clock show 8 o'clock. The minute hand is the long hand, goes all the way up to the 12. And the hour hand is the short hand, that points at the 8. And then we can write 8 o'clock. Hot problem, higher order thinking. Antonio tried to set the hands on his clock for 9 o'clock. Tell why Antonio is wrong. Make it right. So you see this clock? What did Antonio do that's not correct? Well, let's see. If we wanted to say 9 o'clock, where does the minute hand have to be? Oh, the minute hand has to be at the 12, and the hour hand has to be at the 9. It looks like he got a little switcheroo mixed up here. So it would really look like this. If we want it to be 9 o'clock, the short hour hand goes to the 9, and the long minute hand goes to the 12. So Antonio just got his hands mixed up. So we can write that by saying Antonio mixed up the hands. And remember, if I ever go too fast, you just pause your video and get caught up. The hour hand goes on the 9, and I'm just going to squeeze it in down here, minute hand goes on the 12. Right? Again, always pause the video if you need a little extra time. All right. The next page in your math book is your homework page. It's for you to practice on your own, getting the hours on the clocks correct. And then the back side is doing the same thing. Okay, this one is doing elapsed time, just passing 1 hour later. So if we start at 9, 1 hour later. This one also, if it starts at 7, 1 hour later. And then make sure you understand your minute hand versus your hour hand. All right, fantastic job today.